Check this out. I remember watching a fight that took place back in 2011 that was between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Victor Ortiz. And in the fourth round of this fight, Ortiz, who had grew frustrated, had headbutted Floyd, which created a pause in the action. And after about 30 to 40 kisses and hugs from Ortiz to Mayweather, the fight then resumed. And instantly, Floyd landed a two-piece combo that knocked out Ortiz. Now, in the post-fight interview, Larry Merchant, he questioned Floyd about what had just transpired, which Floyd responded by saying, "It's protect yourself at all times," which is the number one rule in boxing, a rule that carries itself into every aspect of life, which brings us to today's topic. On April 12th, Jaron Boots Ennis will face off against Imantas Stanionis in the unified welterweight clash. This is a fight that I'm really excited for, and most high willing, I could give my prediction on fight week. A fight that Jaron Boots Ennis needs for his career to tread in the upward motion and begin to develop his story. I repeat, his story. Because chasing a fight with Terrence Bud Crawford is not the move. That's not to say that the two won't ever fight, but it's obvious that Crawford is focused on high reward fights in this late stage of his career. As he should. I mean, he earned that right. A fight with Ennis isn't viewed through the lens of skill or great accomplishment for Crawford. I mean, if he beats Ennis, what will he really gain? I give him credit for the victory, as well as others, but you also have that other viewpoint that would say, what has Jaron Ennis done in boxing? Who has he beat? Of course Bud was going to beat him, which then we would have to look at the fight from a monetary standpoint. Is Bud versus Boots a fight that's worthy of mainstream attention? The answer is no. Mainly due to the fact that Boots is relatively unknown to the mainstream market. So how does one garner that attention? By becoming an active piece on the chessboard of boxing, which is taking the tough and difficult fights, bringing us to Virgil Ortiz Jr. Now, I'm someone who doesn't believe that Boots ducked Ortiz Jr. because he's scared of him. Boots laid out his goals in multiple interviews that he wants to be undisputed at 147 before going up to 154, even though after his last fight, Boots said that it might be time to move up to 154, which I view this as him admitting to not having a great performance that night. It's not that he took a lot of punches. Boots usually get clipped in a lot of his fights. What really stood out to me was the lack of sharpness that Boots normally display in his fights. Seems like he overtrained. Probably gonna have to retire chopping trees down at that apartment complex. I will say that if he wanted to entice Crawford for a fight, taking the Ortiz Jr. fight at 154 would have assisted him in his endeavor. Another fight that was brought up was Boots fighting Teofimo Lopez, which was turned down by Boots because, again, he wants to unify at 147. The problem from all this seems to be that the goals of Jaron Ennis are not in alignment with the goals of Eddie Hearn. In the Ortiz Jr. debacle, Boots claimed that he was out of the loop during the negotiation process. So it's definitely a miscommunication going on between Ennis and Hearn, something that Ennis should be wary of. On a side note, Eddie Hearn recently tried to downplay the career of Naya Inoue, calling for the man to be removed from the pound for pound list, saying he ain't fought nobody and whatnot, in an attempt to secure a Inoue fight for his fighter, Mutajan Akhmadaliev. I might drop a separate video on that, but it is something that Boots should be cognizant of. These type of tactics from a promoter are not good for business. Also, look at how the career of Demetrius Andrade played out with Eddie Hearn. Boots better make sure that he's always in the loop. As far as the Staniosis fight, it's a good start. Apparently, it's a 3-fight plan for Boots to fight Staniosis, then Teofimo, than the winner of Haney Garcia 2. Look, man, those last 2 fights of this 3-fight deal, they look a little bit shaky. So, contingency plans should be on deck. Jen Sasaki, he been calling out the smoke with Boots. That wouldn't be a bad title defense. That's if Boots get past Staniosis. All in all, now is the time for Jaron Ennis to stamp out his legacy and become an active piece on the board. I believe he has all the tools and potential to be number one on the pound for pound list, but potential is just that. It'll be dope to see him actually actualize it though. So we'll see how things play out for one Mr. Jaron Boots Ennis. Do the science.